Welcome back to the Financial Logistician. I am All-Nighter Hider, here questioning you with, is it ethical to not pay taxes? The big question. I was hit with a comment saying, what was it? The sovereign citizen way of life is no way to live. And I thought, does that mean the feudal system is? I don't want a lord. Sorry. Only God in heaven. That's the only one. So, what are taxes for? Well, they're supposed to be for the roads and the emergency services and financial aid and this and that and all this garbage. Yeah, right. I see taxes as flow control of velocity of currency. If they want less velocity, they tax more. Therefore, there's less currency. If they want more velocity, well, then they tax less and it gets to circulate more amongst the economy. I also see it as capital control. It's a way that the state can take virtually 40% of everybody's life, which they spend their life, which is time, to create this currency by being productive. So if they're taking the currency, then the gains, then they're taking the reward for the productivity from that use of life, if that made any sense, because it didn't the way I said it to me. But anyways, they're taking 40% of the life that you have spent earning currency. So 40% of your life spent earning currency, if you're working 40 hours a week, you're screwed. 10 hours of your life is screwed every single week for nothing. Absolutely nothing. But your own financial repression. So, what happens to these emergency services, these road services, these financial services, these aid services? What happens to them if we all stop paying taxes? Well, if we all stop paying taxes all at once, the system would be shocked and shit would hurt and shit would crash. Bottom line. But if past that point, after the fact, financial aid services wouldn't be needed nearly as much. Gosh, my shoulder's killing me. Wouldn't be needed nearly as much if people were allowed to if people relieved themselves of not paying 40% of their wages away. Emergency services. There's another one. So these things aren't even funded by taxes. I'll go into that in a little bit, but they should be privatized. These kinds of services should really be ran on the great arbiter of efficiency we call profit and loss. Profit and loss. Profit is the signal and the reward of efficiency. If a business is doing well and it's an efficient business, then it's going to get profit. That's that business's signal that, hey, you're doing well. Keep doing what you're doing. If it's losing, obviously that's a signal that you're screwing up, dude. You're inefficient. Stop screwing up. Now, if this is a public entity, that operating at a loss is not good for the people. We're not gaining from a public entity's loss when we're funding the loss. We don't fund the loss directly with taxes, but again, getting into that later. Why profit, signal efficiency, public sector operates at a loss is not. I'm reading my notes, which are just completely chicken scratch. Subsidized by inflation, not taxes. Yeah, so, okay, I will get into it then. These services are not funded by taxes. There's not enough taxes to fund these things. Government agencies would not limit themselves by how much they can steal from the people, because government does not produce anything. It can only steal from the people and redistribute. So the government would not limit itself by what it can steal from the people, therefore weakening the people, weakening the productivity of the people, and therefore being able to steal less. The PhD parasites are weary of killing their host. They're smart enough for that. I'll give them that much. Wrapping up. What happens when we all stop paying taxes? The system would be shocked. We need to do it gradually. Privatization needs to take over gradually. There's got to be some kind of a transition. It just can't stop. And then private's like, oh shit, we got all this opportunity. Let's go for it. It would still be a screwed up process. So, what happens when you pay taxes? Where does it go? What's happening with it? Well, you are funding your captor. You're not funding your captor with dollars that they can print ad infinitum for absolutely nothing. It costs them virtually nothing to create this currency and create this credit, because it's mostly credit. Sorry, my dad just texted me. We're going to have lunch in the next couple of days. It's really cool. I get to tell him about all my progress. I love it. Plus, we were doing the push-up contest, and I think I mentioned this in a prior video, he at like 69, I think, he beat my ass. Because I was 38 years younger, I think. Crazy. Anyways, so you're funding your captor, not with dollars that they can print for next to nothing. They already have those. You're funding them with your consent to be screwed. And what does that do? That emboldens them to screw you even more. So stop paying taxes, stop emboldening them, stop relying on some politician. Good luck with that voting.